For some reason, I went into 1981's Venom with a sense of dread. For whatever reason, I was convinced it probably wasn't going to give me what I needed. I have no idea why. Venom is terrific. Its excellence starts with the cast, and I'll talk about them as they appear. And sure, it's based on a novel, why not? So, there's this well-off family living in England. The grandfather, played by Sterling Hayden in his final film role, appears to be recovering from surgery of some kind, while the grandson suffers from asthma, which seems to have been a much deadlier issue in 1981 than it is today. We also meet their servants, played by Susan George and Oliver Reed, and it's clear right away that they're up to something sinister. Mom goes out of town, and Klaus Kinski arrives. That's never a good sign. Yep, he's in cahoots with the Help, and they plan to kidnap the kid, for ransom, I'm assuming. I say that because the plan immediately goes wrong, but not in the usual thriller ways you might be thinking of. Sure, things go wrong with the scheduling and timetables, that's standard stuff, but okay, let me back up a bit. The grandson has a menagerie in his room, which makes zero sense for a kid with asthma, but whatever. On the day of the scheduled kidnapping, the kid makes an unexpected dash to the pet store to pick up a new critter, throwing the entire plan out of whack.
Mr. Lowenthal!
Who is it? Who's there?
I've come to pick up my...
What do you want? Get away from here. Go on, go away and stay away.
I've come to pick up my order. Philip Hopkins, Eaton Walk.
Oh, of course, Philip Hopkins. I'm so sorry I didn't recognize you. How's your grandfather?
Oh, he's fine, thank you.
Your box is here.
Well, this is terrible customer service. Anyway, the kid manages to convince this lady that he's an actual customer and not a whatever the hell she's raging about, and he gets his new animal. Elsewhere in town, a couple of scientists go to examine their newly acquired black mamba, one of the most deadliest snakes in the world. But surprise, inside the cage is a harmless snake instead. The pet store mixed up the two snakes. The kid has a murder snake. Everyone's gonna die. They call the police to report the snake-pocalypse that's about to happen, and after a nanosecond of laughing it off, the police are totally on board with this and are dispatched to the house right away. That's refreshing.
Oh, hello, this is Marion Stowe, Dr. Marion Stowe, of the Institute of Toxicology.
That's poisons, isn't it?
The kid returns home and everyone is all, okay, now let's get on with the kidnapping, please, and Oliver Reed is suddenly infuriated with this kid, which is how I imagine Oliver Reed was with everyone around him at all times.
That's right.
Who gave you that? Mrs. Ganby, I suppose.
That's right.
You're a cheeky little bastard, aren't you?
No, leave him alone.
But he is a cheeky little bastard. He is a cheeky little bastard!
Shush!
By the way, if you want more of Oliver Reed hating kids, check out Burnt Offerings from 1976, which I may cover here one day. Brief aside, in this kid's room, he's got a box that's very prominently placed of something called Stop Boris. I had to know what this is. Man, that looks like it would be fun for about 7 seconds. Anyway, they've almost got this kidnapping going, but the kid insists on putting his new snake in its new home first, and then blam! Snake attack! This sends Oliver Reed over the edge, and when the police arrive to investigate the earlier call about the snake, Reed escalates the whole situation dramatically. Now, thanks to Oliver Reed's buffoonery, they are trapped in the house with a murder snake on the loose. That describes the first act of Venom. The rest, as you might expect, is about everyone being trapped in the house with the Black Mamba, and it jumping out of random places every so often. And as good movies of this ilk should do, there's snake vision. Nicole Williamson, who was just great in Excalibur as Merlin and also in about a million other things, is also great here as the surly cop who arrives to manage the crisis. And he's good and surly too, like about everything. It's great. I really need to watch Excalibur again too. The only notable extra on Blue Underground's Blu-ray release of Venom is a carryover commentary track by the director from an older DVD release. Some of the behind-the-scenes information about the film is as fascinating as what's happening on screen. For example, Tobe Hooper was the original director of Venom, but late in the production he was either removed or left voluntarily, and was replaced with Piers Haggard, who managed to reshoot the entire thing. He maintains that there's zero footage shot by Hooper in the final cut. Also, as I predicted as soon as I saw the cast, Oliver Reed and Klaus Kinski hated each other throughout the production, and you could really feel it on screen. I mean, it ends up working for the film because the characters are supposed to be at odds, but I'm amazed that neither of them ended up dead at the hands of the other in real life. They look like they want to rip each other apart at times. I think what I love best about Venom is that, in the end, the only victims of the siege are the criminals. None of the regular occupants of the house gets bit by the snake, although the silly and unnecessary final shot of the film will probably change that outcome shortly. But it's not just a happy fun time snake revenge flick or anything. Yes, Oliver Reed goes out horribly, which is what you want. However, the way he ends up getting killed off had me white-knuckled as I was grabbing my armrests so hard. But yeah, Venom is terrific. It turns out, it was exactly what I needed.